Alrighty then. It is Saturday, July 8th, I believe, 7:58 in the morning. As usual, I came out about an hour early and turned on the air conditioning. However, with the heat the way it is right now, the temperature in the shop is about 79 degrees. The outside temperature is 96. And the humidity is coming up, but I don't know what it is because this app doesn't tell me. Although it feels like it's around 15 to 20%. The monsoon season is late this year, but it's going to get pretty hot. Anyways, on to the video. Recently, I've been wanting a small portable oscilloscope, and there's tons of them on eBay. Most of them are small, handheld. Some of them require USB or work off of your computer, which wouldn't work for what I wanted. Some of them you build yourself. None of them have good reviews, like on EEV blog, but he never gives anything a good review anyways, unless it's like high-end stuff. So I got this, and the only other thing I can use out here would be this, which is a 60 megahertz HP 54603B oscilloscope, which I got off of Shop Goodwill for, oh, I don't remember, it was like $50 or $60. The reason I got it was it had a good CRT in it. The CRT is all built together on a little module you can remove. I have the 100 megahertz version of this, and you can see there's burn-in on this screen. This screen came out of my 100 megahertz oscilloscope, and I took the good screen, the good CRT, and put it in my 100 megahertz. But this thing's pretty big. It's only about, say 2/3 the size of a normal oscilloscope, but it's still too big for out in my shed. And the other one, I do have another oscilloscope. As my wife said when this package came in the mail, and she said, how many oscilloscopes does one man need? The answer is all of them. So this is not an unboxing video. I've already opened this, and I've already been working on it and using it, figuring it out, because it doesn't come with any useful instructions. It's in this flimsy cigar box, and it came packed in thick foam. So it comes with, of course, the oscilloscope, 2-channel, a instruction book or user's guide that contains, about the only information it contains is how to adjust your leads so that they are set up correctly and they have a nice square wave, and a few other bits of information on different probes. It comes with 2 leads. Both are 1x or 1 times and 10 times. Chinese inspection sticker, a pen, some software on a mini CD, the screw for adjusting the leads, or the screwdriver for adjusting the leads, and several multicolored dealy bobs that go around the test leads so that you can tell them apart or something. It comes with a really cheap and very dangerous battery charger. I've actually found a website that does reviews and tests battery chargers, and these cheap single cell battery chargers are well, dangerous to put it politely. It didn't come with batteries. It takes 18650 lithium polymer battery. The problem is that there's space in here for two, but one is a second battery that just sits there. It's just storage. There's no electrical connection. The other problem is that this is for the type of 18650 cell that has a nipple or a button that sticks out, and all the ones I have don't have that. So I had to put a washer in between there to get it to make contact. There's no information on the maximum voltage that you can have in the battery. I would assume it's 5 volts, but I don't really know. It doesn't say. Let's see. I've got to get this in here. Okay. This is a 2-channel oscilloscope rated at 20 megahertz. The maximum voltage you can put into these leads is 40 volts. It's marked on here, max 40 volts. I don't know if that means something horrible will happen if you put more than 40 volts into it, or if it just can't display any higher. You know, the maximum it can display is 40 volts on the display. The instructions, the information I can find, nothing says exactly what the deal with that is. Operation of this is somewhat simple, if even though there's no instructions on how to use it. Simply the way it works. Of course, the power button turns it on. You hold the power button down to turn it on. You hold the power button down to turn it off. You have channel 1 and channel 2. There's a small red marker that says channel 1, channel 2. As far as I can tell, there's no way to move these two the two channels up or down. Where they are is where they are. You have a menu on the side. Selecting things for the menu, you just hit channel 1, and it has the channel status: display, open, probe, 10x, coupling, AC. The top item in the menu is basically the menu item, and then these correspond to these F keys down here. So display is F1, probe F2, coupling F3. This badly translated, and so open means on and closed means off. So if you want to turn off the channel 1 display, you press F1 and it changes to close, and now you only have channel 2. Press it again to turn it on. F2 changes the probe from 1x to 10x, 100x, and back to 1x. I have it set to 10x. I'll explain later. Coupling is AC or DC. Channel 1. You press channel 1 again, and you get the max value with min value, duty cycle, and peak to peak, which are controlled by F1 through F3. I usually don't mess with this. I'm not sure exactly how to configure those, so I just leave them alone. I use the auto a lot. Pressing auto, if you have a signal, the scope will go through and try to determine the best voltage and frequency and everything. I'm not sure of the terms to display the signal at. I have a video that I'm going to attach to this one of me testing it on my frequency generator, so you can see how well it works. Trigger, once again, you have edge trigger, and you can control whether it's slope falling, source is channel 2, and T mode is auto. I don't know what T mode means. It could be in trigger mode. So we have normally, single, and auto. I leave it on auto. Hori means horizontal, and you can change the time base CW state. Display is open, that means on. Source is channel 1, type is time. You can change that between voltage and time, and it turns on these cursors, and I think you can take measurements, but I haven't messed with that yet. Run, you press run, it pauses the display. There is some way that you can save the display, but I haven't gotten into that. Not sure if I'll ever use it. Oh yes, there's another part to the horizontal. There's cursor 1, cursor 2, and increments. Menu brings up Waveform Save with a reference A or B. Reference source, channel 1 or channel 2. Or math, and I believe that puts the two together. And then reference A is on or off. Press menu again, set up display, you can have the backlight. The backlight is, I believe, the brightness, and there are 6 values. Oops. 5 values. Language is English or Chinese. Color is 2. This thing has 2 modes. It has a color mode and it has a black and white mode. The display seems to work a little faster in black and white mode. The arrow keys, of course, move the cursors around, and that seems to be about it. I think it can change some values if you've got it trying to manually set it. For most of what I'll ever do, probably never use any manual settings. The battery, these 18650s, it can run for about 5 hours on one battery. It doesn't have any option to power it any other way. And there's probably a good reason for that. There's very likely not a lot of protection circuits in this. I don't know that there's any fuses or anything in it. There is a USB slot on the side. There's a specific explicit warnings to not have this plugged into USB while you're measuring things, and I believe that's because you could create a path to ground and fry this thing. Pressing OK obviously seems to save all the settings. Doesn't seem to do much more than that. The reason for the 400 volt and the 40 volt is that I have set up my leads so that this one is at 10x and 400 volts, and then the other one is set for 40x, or yeah, 40 volts, 1x, and I don't really plan on using both of these channels at the same time, so I'm just going to leave it in this configuration, and if I need to measure anything over 40 volts, I will just use channel 1, and if I need to do less than, or 40 volts or less, I will just use channel 2. The leads that they give you are pretty much standard Chinesium leads. I've ordered leads in the past, and they come and they look exactly like this. So somebody, makes a ton of these, and they get sold to all sorts of different companies. One of these leads, this is the adjustment for, I forgot what it's called. Basically, you have to hook this up to a square wave source and adjust this so that the square wave on here is an actual square wave. One of these leads, that adjustment was spot on, and I could not change it. So I don't know if the adjusting thing was broken or what. The other one of them, I don't know which one, I had to adjust it, and it was out a little bit. And I also have another lead that is probably the same manufacturer, and I was checking it on here, and it was the same way. It was adjusted correctly, but I couldn't change it. And these will work with any, pretty much any oscilloscope leads. Like it says, up to 100 times. So you could measure 4,000 volts with this. I'm not sure of how smart that would be. This is a hobby grade bench or shop grade. If you just need an oscilloscope that for checking voltages, checking sine waves, making minor adjustments, or you just need something that fits on a small bench, this will be fine. If you want to do this for your job, and your life depends on it, and whatever, I don't think I would have it for that. But for me, it's fine. The place I ordered it from showed it as having blue, and I got this orangish yellow. I was hoping it would have been the blue, but they all seem to be yellow. It's like they make a run of one color and sell them all out, and then they make a run in another color. I did not give the seller a not as described because it doesn't really matter. This is made by Hefei, H-E-F-E-I, Jinhan Electronics Limited. It almost sounds like based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like it might be powered, could be powered by 5 volts USB. I haven't tried that. It tells me not to, but there's just no instructions, nothing. I did, if you search the name of this and manual, you will find an instruction book, which is a little bit more helpful. It's translated somewhat well, but it still doesn't give you any information like the maximum battery compartment voltage, anything about protection circuits, if there are any, nothing else. But for what I'm going to do, this will work great. And so at the end of this video, there will be a short video of me taking measurements off of my 1980s Hewlett-Packard precision signal generator, and you'll see that this can actually measure, even though it's rated at 20 megahertz, you can actually go up to 70 megahertz. The waveform shrinks down and becomes distorted, but you can get a reading and it locks. So, it actually will work up to higher than what it says. So that's it for this for now. Okay, this is the oscilloscope with 5 megahertz input. That's 15 megahertz. That's 20 megahertz. And we're going to go, there's 30. Interesting. 40. 50 megahertz. $70.